Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of The Gaming Fool. And today I'm doing something different. Once again, I keep trying a lot of different things. And today I'm going to be doing a review for the Xbox Elite controller. Now, I've never done a review before, so I'm a little bit nervous about it. But I'm just going to be talking about the pros and the cons of the controller. I'm not going to, pry too much into it because there's been plenty of reviews out for it already. And I just wanted to get it in people's minds since the Xbox Elite Controller 2 is about to come out. And I'm going to be getting that one, and I'll be doing a review for that one, which that one will be a lot more elaborate than this one. But we'll see where this goes, and I really want to hear what you guys think. And by the way, before I continue, don't forget that I stream Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I'll leave a link in the description below. But anyways, let's get started on this video. As soon as I unboxed the Xbox Elite controller and I started using it for the first time, I fell in love with that controller. I've been playing video games since I was 6 years old. I've played with a lot of different controllers in that time, and none of them top up to the Xbox Elite controller. Now, that doesn't mean it's a perfect controller by any means. It definitely has its faults, and I'm going to be talking about those pros and those cons. So we'll start with the pros, and we're going to talk about pro number 1. The Xbox Elite controller feels absolutely amazing inside of your hands. It doesn't matter how big or how small, the weight and the grip of the controller feels great. It just feels like it sticks to your hand. If you get sweaty, it still doesn't feel like the controller is going to slip out of your hands. It just feels really good. And that was something I had to put because a lot of controllers that I've used in the past, like we'll use Nintendo 64 and GameCube controllers, as an example, they kind of hurt my hands after long periods of time. I don't know about you guys, but I have sensitive fingers. And for some reason, the Xbox Elite controller, I'm able to play it for a long period of time without my hands, tiring out. So I also think that's pretty important to note out with the Xbox Elite controller. Now, pro number 2 is definitely my favorite feature about this entire controller because it allows me to save settings that I have for different games in whatever, setting I want. And I think that's pretty cool because, like I said, I play lots of different types of games and I have a very unique style. My brain somehow shifts when I play certain types of games using this controller. And it's pretty incredible, actually. So that's why I definitely put this one on my list for my pros. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about with my pros is the paddles in the controller, the Elite controller. These extra 4 buttons or 2 buttons or however you feel like using these buttons probably makes this controller the best part. I really enjoy the fact that I don't have to ever take off my fingers off of the controller no matter what video game I'm playing. My fingers never get off of the sticks. This makes me a couple of milliseconds faster than most of the people online who are just using standard Xbox controllers because I'm not having to reach for my bash button, I'm not having to reach for my jump button or my thrust button or whatever button it is that you might need these paddles to be in order to make your gaming experience a lot more unique, And I just really think that the paddles outside of the customizations, these paddles right here are definitely the most amazing tools on this entire controller. But now we're going to start talking about some of the cons in this video. And now we really have to talk about this problem that I have with the controller. And as you can see right here, this controller for the special edition white is $180, and for the regular black edition it's $150. Now, this price tag for the cons that I'm about to mention in this video is completely insane. So if this controller worked and had the durability that I felt like was advertised with it, the price would be fine. But this controller, I've bought in 2 of them already, and my friend has also bought in 2, possibly even 3. Now, the controller wears down very, very quickly. And I'm talking 365 days quickly. So for that $180 price tag, that's insanity. I can't believe that even knowing all of the cons that this controller has with the durability, that they're still advertising this at $149 or $179. I think it's just completely crazy. Now, what really grinds my gear is that Microsoft knows that there's an issue with these controllers. They 110% know, and whenever you try to call their customer service or you try to get this controller fixed, they tell you that, oh, we can fix your controller for a snazzy $149 price tag. Now, that seems just like, businesses nowadays, you don't have a problem and then they create one and then they sell you the solution. And this is part of the reason why I'm very skeptical about this controller that for the next series, the series number 2. It just worries me because I know that Microsoft isn't going to address these issues, and this is what they straight up advertised for. So I think we should be really weary when we're going into the Xbox Series 2 controller outside of all of those amazing pros with the controller. Alright, so this con isn't as much as a serious issue as the first one that I just mentioned, but it still needs to be addressed. And granted, I know that this controller already fixed it, but my other issue is that the 2 item slots. Now, don't get me wrong, I know I sound kind of whiny because I never even had 2 options before, but that doesn't mean that we can't get a little bit innovative and, add a little bit more creativity to this controller. And like, I don't think it's that difficult, or I can't imagine it being that difficult to add a 3rd or 4th extra slot button. Now, the Xbox Series number 2 does have 3 settings, and I'm really I'm really excited to see if that really works out like as the way I'm hoping it does in my mind. But I kind of thought it was a little bit silly to only have 2 options because, of course, I usually play one game very hard, which right now I'm playing Apex, as you guys know. By the way, don't forget I stream Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But my point is that if I'm always playing Apex and I want to play Alien Isolation and then switch over to Kingdom Hearts a little bit later, but then ultimately I know that I'm going to be going back down to Apex. It's super inconvenient having to go to devices and accessories, especially because I don't know if any of you guys are having this issue with Xbox's devices and accessories, but sometimes it just doesn't work. I have to close down the app. It's super annoying, super frustrating. I hate doing it. I can't stand seeing that menu even though I love it. Honestly, it sums up the relationship I have with this controller because it's a complete love-hate relationship. Like, I feel like I love this controller so much, but it just hates me. So my final thought on this controller, I'm gonna give it a grade out of 10. With the pros of the controller being super useful, the controller being convenient as it is, also, thinking about the price tag of the controller versus the longevity of the controller, I think I'm gonna have to give this controller a 7.2 out of 10. And this controller has definitely all of the potential to be $10, but for that price tag, I cannot give it a 9 or a high 8 because it's just a ridiculous issue. And I don't think that it's fair to the consumer that we have to keep purchasing this $180 controller, $150 controller, whatever that price tag may be that you get it for, that you have to keep paying for that every single year. I think that's completely BS. I think the controller should at least last for at least 2 to 3 years, especially for the price tag that you're paying. But that pretty much is going to be summing up this video. Today was it was an interesting one. It was very different doing a review like this, so I really hope to hear some good feedback from you guys. Did you guys like the Xbox Elite controller? Was it good for you? Did you guys have breakdowns of the controller peeling in the back in the first 365 days of the controller release? Did you enjoy using it? Do you not enjoy using the Xbox Elite controller? I want to hear some feedback, so go ahead and leave a like and a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you guys next time on The Gaming Fool.